Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a program that's designed to forge the next generation of elite financial analysts. It's the NAL Mentoring Program for 2026. The big promise here? To get you out of the textbook and into the real world with skills that can actually define your career.
So let's just kick things off with a question that really gets to the heart of the matter. It's one thing to understand a concept you read in a book, but it's a completely different ballgame to apply it when the pressure's on, to find that one critical piece of information in a sea of noise and to make smart calls. That gap, right there, that's where careers are made or broken.
And this program is built to do one thing: bridge that exact gap. We're talking about an immersive 64-hour commitment. So this isn't just some weekend seminar, it's a genuine deep dive that's designed to fundamentally rewire how you approach analyzing companies and markets.
Now, let's look at how you'd actually spend that time, because this is key. A massive 75%, that's a full 48 hours, is all about hands-on mentoring. This means you're actively practicing with experts guiding you, not just sitting back and listening to lectures. The entire focus is on doing, and that makes all the difference.
Okay, let's get into the meat of it. The first of their 4 core pillars. This is all about getting to the very heart of a company, to understand its fundamental DNA. The goal here is to get you thinking like a business owner first and an analyst second.
So what does that mean in practice? Well, it means you're going way beyond the spreadsheet to really get a feel for different business models. For instance, how is an asset-heavy manufacturer, which needs huge amounts of capital just to operate, fundamentally different from a super scalable asset-light platform that grows through network effects? Understanding that distinction is the bedrock of any solid analysis.
And a huge part of decoding that DNA is learning how to spot a company's real competitive moat. This is about being able to separate a truly sustainable advantage, like an untouchable brand or super high switching costs for customers, from just some temporary market hype. Honestly, it's the skill that keeps you from getting burned on fleeting success stories.
All right, let's move on to the second pillar. So once you understand the story behind the business, you have to verify if that story holds up in the numbers. This is where you learn to think like a financial detective, almost like a short seller, actively hunting for weaknesses and red flags hidden inside the financials.
And the number one rule of financial forensics? Learning to tell the difference between what a company reports as profit and the actual real cash it's bringing in the door. You see, accounting rules can be bent and shaped, but cash is reality. This part of the program trains you to follow the money, not just the headlines.
And this slide gives you a little taste of that forensic focus. You're not just memorizing ratios here. You're diving headfirst into modules on hidden risks, learning how to spot trouble in accruals and debt levels, and doing a deep forensic analysis on cash flow versus profit.
You'll get to master absolutely essential forensic tools, like the cash conversion ratio. And why is that so important? Because it's basically a financial lie detector. It tells you, flat out, whether a company's amazing profit growth is backed by real cash or if it's all just an accounting illusion.
So, you get the business model. You've stress-tested the numbers. The third pillar takes you from diagnosis to judgment. It's all about looking at how a company's management team allocates capital, how they spend the company's money. This is one of the most critical drivers of long-term value, but it's so often overlooked. And the really crucial thing here is figuring out if a company's high returns are coming from genuine operational skill or if it's just an illusion created by taking on a mountain of debt. One of those creates lasting value, the other adds a ton of hidden risk.
So how do you figure that out? Well, you'll master these powerful frameworks like DuPont analysis. And listen, this isn't just some boring formula. Think of it as an X-ray machine. It lets you deconstruct a company's performance and see exactly what's driving its return on equity. Is it great margins, super efficient use of assets, or just a whole lot of debt? This framework tells you the truth.
Okay, so once you can accurately judge a company's story, its numbers, and its management's decisions, what do you do with that? How do you actually act on all that insight? That is what the fourth and final pillar is all about, turning that brilliant analysis into a smart, risk-managed investment portfolio. And we're talking about the real-world, practical stuff that separates the amateurs from the pros. Things like, how do you size your bets based on how confident you are? How do you budget your risk? How do you stay disciplined when the market is tanking? And, just as important, how do you know when it's time to sell? I mean, this quote from the program's goals really says it all, doesn't it? The whole curriculum is designed with one single endpoint in mind, to take you all the way from being a passive analyst to an active decision maker who can actually build and manage a professional-grade portfolio.
So we've walked through the curriculum, and it sounds pretty intense. But how does this all actually accelerate your career? What are the tangible things, the tools, and the outcomes that you walk away with? Well, their learning methodology is pretty interesting. It's designed to be a mirror image of how a professional analyst actually works. You start with real-world case studies, you learn how to use AI tools to help your analysis, you get your hands dirty on professional platforms, and your final output is creating institutional quality research reports.
And Matt, hands-on training? It isn't happening on some dummy software. You're going to be using the same professional-grade platforms that are staples in the industry right now. We're talking Trendline, Screener, and TradingView, and learning how to pull real decision-making insights from them. And here's a really unique outcome, a tangible credential. You receive an online internship certificate that's issued in association with a weekly financial newspaper. Now, this isn't just another piece of paper that says you completed a course. It's a powerful validation of your practical, hands-on experience.
For anyone wondering about the investment, here's the breakdown. The program fee is $100,000, and there's a 10% early bird discount available. Yeah, it's a significant investment, but it's one that's aimed squarely at accelerating your professional future. And that brings us right back to where we started. That gap between just knowing finance and actually doing finance, that's where your professional edge is built. And this program seems engineered to do exactly that. So the only real question left is, are you ready to build yours?